In my other videos, I said most people are idiotic, hideous, hypocritical, and inconsistent, and so I don't think they deserve my help and contribution, and I do not want to benefit them. I probably got this idea 10 or 20 years ago. That's why, even though I like anatomy and mechanisms, I refuse to be any kinds of clinicians or engineers, as these jobs are directly serving people. I instead needed to find some useless bullshit jobs I can work. David Graeber has defined some bullshit jobs. However, those jobs are very useful for maintaining this shitty conformist system and those vested interests, which are even more disgusting to me. Therefore, I chose to be a researcher, as I thought doing research can waste money from the government and the public without directly and immediately benefiting society. A lot of times, even though new ideas, concepts, and knowledge are formulated, no products are produced. The public can't use the knowledge, let alone a lot of ideas don't actually work in real-world situations, and even if they work, a lot of them do not provide any economic incentives for realization. Romantically, I felt I could play my own magic useless to others in this mechanical world by being a researcher. However, the more I work in this system, the more do I realize my vision is merely my fantasy, as if a naive and ignorant child holding an anthropocentric or even egocentric view thinks his common sense may as well work in the wilderness, or even outside the earth. Academia is just another conformist system with vested interests. You think you have your own research project which is minimally alienated, but your project is assigned in a top-down manner, and your work is free-ridden by idiots who don't even know what you are doing. Working in academia means you are doing actual work to fuel this system, supporting promotion, salaries, and fame of the vested interests. You think you are the master, but in reality you are just a slave to the system. Also, Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences this year showcases the research showing that innovative knowledge is the key to growth in society. The propositional knowledge not directly leading to new inventions and products is the invaluable foundation for society as a whole for innovative advancement in the future. Just like electromagnetism and quantum physics. Especially if I insist on doing the correct things, my usefulness to society can be big. I was really silly to overlook this in the past, but once I realized it's just another bullshit job benefiting the disgusting system, I need to quit and refuse to be exploited in order to serve my own justice. The more useless I am, the less exploitable am I. So I started to contemplate how to be the least useful around 10 years ago. as I also have a deep-rooted or even stubborn thought that spending is supporting. I imagine I become homeless and feed on meals from food bank or soup kitchen so that I don't need to spend and support anyone. But practically, this is probably tough. Being homeless means you have no clean, safe, and stable places to live, rest, and sleep. You can be threatened, robbed, and chased away by humans. Whether, no matter sun, rain, wind, snow, hot and cold, and other animals like bugs, birds, dogs, and cats aren't your allies either. Of course, the world is big and there must be some good places to rough sleep, but then you face competition. And there are always reasons for the presence as well as the absence of competition. Simply speaking, free food source is more available in city areas, but the problems are present in terms of competition, safety, and comfort. These clearly greatly affect my basic survival and quality of life. Chronic fatigue, sickness, stress, and malnutrition are probable. Of course, ordinary homeless people can earn and spend money to make their lives easier, but I don't become homeless due to the lack of money. I become homeless to avoid spending. If I still need to spend to maintain my health, why do I become homeless? Similarly, living off grid is also not an option because I will still need to buy different tools and seeds. I have also read information on uncontacted persons such as men of the whole to learn how they live and see if I can live like them, but again, comfort, safety, security issues. Eventually, I accepted and decided that I am going to spend on and support industries efficiently improving basic convenience and quality of life, such as supermarkets, basic housing, and utilities. I always think that refrigerator and air conditioning are extremely important inventions for public health. Internet is also important for enriching my life, providing stimulation for my brain, and I try to spend in the most cost-effective way to get all my needs. In this sense, I am trading and extracting resources from society. So now it's me who exploits society. As the objective is just to extract the resources I want, I am just gaming with society. Whenever society dishes out something that tarnishes my integrity, dignity, freedom, or quality of life, I resist, evade, or simply quit. It's simply fight or flight. As society fails me, it completely sustains its own loss. I am still exploiting it, but it loses my precious, sincere contribution forever. But probably it doesn't care much because a lot of people and conformists still kowtow to it. Well, as I do the correct thing for myself, I don't care about other things much. Of course, I know my thoughts or stance are not conventional, and I am totally aware that people love to prove themselves, Completely opposite to me, they want to prove themselves useful. They feel powerful and superior if they get higher salaries, certain awards, more intelligent, or even just physically bigger and stronger. One reason may be the so-called self-esteem. It's about believing oneself worth something, as society tells them they are important and useful, especially more important and useful than others. On the contrary, people feel ashamed of being unemployed or homeless. It's not only about money and fame. For example, men are proud of their big penis and enjoy seeing women getting crazy for it. Women are proud of their big breasts and hips and enjoy attracting men, hopefully more powerful ones. On the other hand, some people have complex about their body, thinking they are not good and attractive enough. Do you notice something odd? Why self-esteem has to concern proving to others and recognized by others? Why self-esteem has to depend on others and society? Why do you have to be useful to others? Why do you have to please others? Are you a slave or a whore whose meaning of life is to submit yourself to others' disposal and exploitation? I don't understand self-esteem. I can only see facts and my own track record. Facts and track record show I have certain levels of abilities and behaviors in different contexts. It's not about confidence and recognition. My self-worth is based on my justice, dignity, freedom, and fairness, which are based on autonomy and reciprocity, which in turn are deep-rooted evolutionarily but not at all granted by society. Quite the opposite, society tends to sabotage them. Therefore, I try my best to exploit society without giving too much. I think about who deserve my resources. This is my fairness. Consistently on YouTube, I don't want many views, and I do not want to add too much revenue for YouTube. I provided some content for YouTube and YouTube offers me hosting service. That's it for the trade. Apart from building a museum of myself for myself, I only want some good people who are the minority deserving my resources to watch my videos and exchange thoughtful ideas with me. Please share your ideas, especially on how to resist society and be less useful.